Welcome to RV Shop and Chef, coming to you today from our home-based kitchen. In the upcoming segment, I'm going to show you how I made one of my favorite gourmet meals using an RV propane cooktop. It's rustic chicken thighs with sun-dried tomatoes. So stay tuned. I'll show you how I improvised in some areas, but it all turned out great in the end. So stick with us. Shiz. We are browning some boneless chicken thighs, just a little bit of olive oil so you can see they're kind of simmering. They're getting ready for their sauce. We'll let those simmer just a little bit, just until they're not quite done. I would say probably 5 to 7 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to chop my onions. A little bit of garlic. You don't want to overpower this dish, so probably just a little bit will do. I do a couple of cloves. For some people that's a lot, but for me, it's just about right. Okay, so our next step is to begin the sauce. So with that, you want to put just a little bit of olive oil. Now, one of the things I discovered with RV cooking is that sometimes you forget things like my butter. So this is where I'm going to improvise with, I can't believe it's not butter. So we're going to take just about a tablespoon of this, put it in the pan to saute. And you can see I've already got my chicken thighs done. They're kind of resting right now, getting ready to go into the sauce. So I'm draining them on some paper towels just to get a little bit of oil out of them so they'll be a little bit healthier. But I'm going to melt my, I can't believe it's not butter. And right before I did this, I used my favorite tool in the kitchen, which is my little chop, which I love. Saves so much time in the kitchen. So this is a mix of about a 1/4 cup of onion and 2 cloves of garlic. Now we're going to actually pour into the butter and saute it. Okay, we're going to let that saute for a few minutes. Okay, so our onions and garlic have been simmering about 2 to 3 minutes. They're getting kind of soft. So at this point, you want to go ahead and add your sliced mushroom. Now, I love mushrooms. It really depends on your taste as far as how much you're going to add. But honestly, I could almost add a whole container. They add so much lusciousness to the sauce. Okay, so now we've added the mushrooms and they've been cooking probably about 3 to 5 minutes. And you can tell they're kind of all blended together with the onions and the garlic, simmering nicely. I've got it in the RV, it's kind of a medium flame, you can see here. So you don't want it real high, but not real low either because you want it to be able to kind of simmer. So now I'm going to take some flour that I had where I tossed my chicken, just kind of sprinkle it in. We're going to make a little bit of a roux so that it thickens our sauce. Okay, so now once we've kind of sauteed the mushrooms and the onion with garlic in the flour for about a minute or so, it's a little bit thick. You want to take your flame to the very lowest level possible. We're going to add our liquid, which normally if I were at home I'd be using my homemade chicken broth, but since I'm in the RV, I'm using my convenient organic chicken broth. So we're going to add this to the roux. Just kind of give it a little turn around. Now the reason we lower the flame is that if you put your broth in with the flame high, it has a tendency to get lumpy. When you cook it on a low temperature, it actually makes a really nice sauce and kind of breaks up evenly so that it's not lumpy. So you always want to lower your flame before you put in your liquid, whether it's broth or a cream, whatever you're using. So it's been simmering for about 5 minutes, and you can see it's starting to thicken in the pot, so it's a really nice consistency. At that point, add about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Gives it a really nice flavor. And then to that, we're going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. Kind of gives it that nice Mediterranean flavor. A little bit of spicy in the sauce that goes really well with chicken. So we'll just add our sun-dried tomato. And I actually buy the julienne tomatoes. You can buy whole. But since we are in the RV, I'm always for convenience. So these are already julienned. So we add that to the sauce. Let that cook just a little bit. Stir it all around. So now I've gone ahead and added the chicken thighs that we had browned earlier to the sauce. And we're going to put this on a very low simmer for a few minutes just so the chicken gets cooked through. Also, what I like to do, and this is going to seem like a lot, we like greens with what we eat, so I always throw in a handful or two of spinach. It seems like a lot, but if you've cooked with spinach, you'll know that it cooks down and just kind of becomes more of a side dish with the meal. It'll cook into the sauce. And then we're going to cover this and let it cook for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I make my pasta. Okay, so here's another one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. Do you agree?
Yes.
This is your shop.
This is one of the coolest things ever.
So it turns into a tub. It's a colander. It's got little handles on the side. Pull it over your sink.
There it is.
Take your pasta.
Ready to rock.
That is ready to go. And just pour it right into the handy dandy colander.
So there it is from the chef. Rustic chicken thighs and sun-dried tomatoes. And now we get to see it served. Oh, there we go. Rustic chicken thighs with sun-dried tomatoes, topped with Parmesan. How'd it come out?
Bon appetit. Looks fabulous.